Do you know that, like, they've tested elephants for, like, you know, like, they do, like, brain stuff, you know, to, like, see what's going on in there?
Yeah.
And they found that elephants have the same reaction looking at humans as, like, humans do looking at puppies.
They think we're cute?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That
Yeah.
is... I'm like having such a reaction that I can't even express it right now. That's amazing.
Beautiful.
That's amazing. That makes me want to cry.
I know.
So you want to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cause it's Witchcast.
Woo,
Witchcast.
I'm your host, Emily Duncan.
And I'm the other host, Kate Moran.
Yeah, we're your hosts.
We're hosts together.
Together, we co-host.
Yeah. We're also casually into witchcraft. We're like casual witches. How do we describe ourselves?
So this whole podcast, I feel like, is about, in many ways, less educating the people listening and more educating ourselves about something that we're interested in, which is witchcraft and sort of like magic, the sort of magic world, so to speak, such as, like, not just like Wiccan stuff, which I feel like is sort of what people think of as modern witches, but also like tarot cards don't necessarily fall in that, and like astrology and all these different things, and just sort of talking about why people are so interested in them right now, and also what they actually are, where they came from.
Yeah.
Learning about them.
Yeah, we're just into like cool, spiritual, pagany, witchy.
Yeah, we're exploring our pagan world.
Yeah, magic with a K, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what Witchcast is all about.
Yeah, and like, so like we're learning, and you know, if you want to, you can listen and learn along with us. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, email us and tell us how wrong we are, whatever.
Yeah, I definitely feel like everything that we say on this show is entirely biased, mostly researched on the internet and not necessarily well. Nope. And we're very open to criticism.
Yeah, but like be nice about it.
Yeah.
Like we felt like there's a lot of, you know, it seems very intimidating. Like I feel like a lot of people are really interested in this kind of stuff, horoscopes, tarot, you know, witchcraft spells, candles, crystals, but like it seems
getting
so
into the
big.
goddess.
Yeah, harnessing the power within, but like how do you even it seems like a very intimidating, overwhelming subject to broach.
Yeah.
So we're helping you
by helping us, ourselves,
which is everything in life.
Yeah, right.
It's like my mom.
So today we're going to be talking about, we thought it would be helpful just to go into sort of like a brief history of witchcraft. And so the history of like where witchcraft came from, how it became sort of seen as like a criminalized sort of thing, where people are burning witches. Why did it become not just like these pagan traditions, but, you know, evil lady, evil spell, Snow White, all that hook, nose, wart, you know.
Wart, yeah.
Right, like... How did we get from there to here?
Green skin.
Like, and then where are we now?
Yeah.
Just giving a brief overview, and again, very biased.
Yeah.
Very much internet research.
Very generalized.
But we're doing our best here.
Very
and,
top
you know,
line.
at least we read it for you.
But, you know, we're also, this is just the beginning. This is just 101. Like, we're going to get, well, as we go on, you know, we'll
get more in depth. We just thought, let's make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the very basics.
Yeah, also because... Honestly, I don't really know that much.
Yeah, I
know,
learned a lot
things.
doing this.
That's good.
I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like I learned things.
Well, I chose the history one, so I was doing a deep dive.
Yeah. Mine, I feel like mine I got, so we split it up. So, because it's such a vast subject, and this isn't like a university lecture. We don't want to go on for hours, but Emily took the old,
like history,
original,
like origins of the word sort of stuff, like what is which.
I'm excited to hear more about the burnings and the stigmatism.
Oh.
Stigmatism? No. That's something with your eyes.
Stigma. No, astigmatism is with your eyes. Stigmatism.
Oh my god, I'm so tired. I'm sorry. Okay.
The stigmatization? I don't know.
Let's say that.
That doesn't feel like a real
I feel
word.
like we say anything confidently.
Yes.
It's like.
The stigmatization.
Yeah. NPR voice. Of witchcraft. No, but I want to learn more about that too, because I feel like there's more. I only know like the Crucible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I know really what went down. But I want to, so I'm excited to
Boy,
learn
do
from
I
you,
ever have
Emily.
some information for you.
Ooh, juicy,
This was
juicy.
actually really fun. I got, like, this is how I ended up writing, I told you this, but I ended up writing 2,500 words on this. I don't know that we're going to be able to keep everything, but I'm gonna give it all to you.
Give it all to me. I'll take it all.
We'll see how much we need to
You're
keep.
such an academic and writer. I love it. I mean,
Well, I'm like
Very
basically
impressed by
down 2 jobs right now, so I had nothing else to do except finish my novel, and I didn't want to do that.
yeah. All right. You want to start?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be talking about the history of what witchcraft is, sort of the definition of witchcraft and witch, and then I'm going to go into the history, basically, of how we got from, like, paganism to here. And then I'm going to stop in, like, the mid-1900s and throw it on over to Kate.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna refill my wine glass and
please
sit
do.
back
I'm going to take a little sippy sip.
and listen. Ooh, look at that Foley work. Okay. Oops.
Okay, wait. You're going to laugh when I start this.
No, I'm probably will, but it's gonna be out of love.
Oxford's dictionary defines the word witch.
Oh my god.
I thought that was a funny way to start, but
Yes,
here we are.
do it.
Oxford's dictionary, I know, defines the word witch as a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as wearing a black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick, or a follower or practitioner of Wicca or of modern witchcraft. Secondarily, it can also mean an ugly or unpleasant woman, a girl who is bewitchingly attractive, or an edible North Atlantic flatfish. Which is why I wanted to read that.
Oh my god, can we get ourselves some witch fish? I
We
want
definitely
to eat some
should.
witch fish.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm on board
let's
completely.
put that witch on the fire.
Yeah. This witch is so juicy.
Witch can also be used as a verb synonymous with bewitch, but there wasn't anything fun in there, so I decided to skip it. The origin of the word is basically unknown, where the actual word witch came from. There's a lot of theories, but no one's like, this is definitely it. Like, it definitely is related to the origin of the word Wicca, which in old northern England would have been pronounced more like witcha. But like where that came from seemed to be a bit of a mystery. But I know you might actually have some information on that I didn't find. So we'll come to that later.
No, don't put too many expectations on this.
No, I'm putting a lot of
But
expectations.
could you imagine being like, I practice witcha. I want to say that.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
great.
right? Isn't that funny? Okay, so ultimately a witch is a practitioner or one who is perceived to be a practitioner of witchcraft, but then what is witchcraft? Okay, hear me out. Witchcraft is a really broad term, right?
I love you so much right now.
So witchcraft or witchery basically means, I love you too. If you listen to Wikipedia, which I am summarizing here a bit, the practice of and belief in magic, often taking a religious, divinatory, or medicinal role. They also say, and I love this, witchcraft is a broad term that varies culturally and societally, and thus can be difficult to define with precision, and cross-cultural assumptions about the meaning or significance of the term should be applied with caution.
Ooh,
Thank you,
watch
Wikipedia.
out.
The further I got into this, the more I was like, no, they're right. So something I find really interesting that they don't mention in their little summary of witchcraft on Wikipedia, which I think is very evident in the dictionary definition of witch, is the traditional, at least in Western culture, so maybe that's exactly what they're referring to, association with women. All right, I'm going to talk quickly about the origins of the beliefs that we associate with witchcraft, and for the purposes of this short podcast, I'm going to focus on the Western world because, it's
We're here.
what I actually know anything about. Yeah,
yeah.
it's because it's where we are. All right, so the idea of witches or people doing magic has been around basically since the beginning of recorded history. Today, in large part because of the prevalence of Abrahamic monotheistic religions, this is a statement I'm going to back up later, it's mostly commonly associated with this idea that by doing some kind of magic, the witch or witchcraft practitioner can influence the mind or body or property of other things against their will, which is why people have been so suspicious of it, or it's one of the many reasons.
Right.
I mean, really, they've just been indoctrinated to be suspicious of it, but that idea was something that people kind of hooked onto in terms of,
Where
like...
did it come from, though? Oh, you're going to
I'm pointing... I just pointed at
Emily
Kate, like,
just made
ha-ha!
a great face. I love it.
All right, but that's not really the root of what these witchish traditions are, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, that's not what the base
It's
is.
a stereotype.
Yeah, it's a stereotype, basically, yeah. So that's just an idea that cropped up along the way. Okay, so this whole idea of witches being evil really, they think, started with the Old Testament, tisk tisk, because it has laws against witchcraft. And then it turned into a whole thing when those laws were useful to, the church in particular, basically. And I have to say I didn't get to research as much into how Islam and Judaism treat the whole witch concept, but that'll be for another episode, because in our Western world, it's really the Christians that have done the most harm to the image of the witch, so to speak. Okay, so Old Testament. I went to BibleStudyTool.com to find out. I'm listing my references.
Yeah.
This is so funny. Hear me out. I went to BibleStudyTool.com to find out what specific witchcraft laws are in the Bible, and I found this amazing article that I can't recommend highly enough called BibleStudyTool.com: The 18 Top Bible Verses About Witchcraft Warnings from Scripture.
Oh, let's hear it.
Even BibleStudyTool.com is using that BuzzFeed style.
I love it.
Headline.
No.
It also, this sort of reminded me, or made me think that possibly as at the same time as we, like, new agey ladies are getting more into witchcraft, there are definitely, like, Christians out there that would really be like, wouldn't they look nice toasted? Okay, so part of me wanted to read all of the quotes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to synthesize you because this is not a Wow the Bible podcast. Okay, but so there are quotes about witchcraft across a lot of the Bible, but the largest sort of concentration of ones that are really like stone the witch come from Leviticus, which you might know from such hits as don't get a tattoo, don't eat pigs or shellfish, don't mix fabrics, don't have sex with a woman on her period, don't cut your hair at the sides, but do keep it tidy.
This is like my entire life.
Don't have gay sex, don't make your daughter prostitute herself. Some of their laws are actually pretty good. And
too soon.
Don't sleep with another man's slave. So forbidding all sorts of stuff is kind of the MO of this section of
nice
the oldie
that they have
Bible.
values about slaves.
Yeah, I know, right? Your own slave's fine, but someone else's, please.
How dare you? That's his property.
Right, yeah. But it also is like the section that's like, don't fuck your mother. Don't fuck your mother's sister. Don't fuck your sister's mother.
It's like, Leviticus, where are you getting this from? Is this from like...
They make like a very detailed list of all the family members you're not allowed to fuck.
This is just a general example. This is not from like anything in my life or anything.
Yeah, they read Game of Thrones and were like, okay, hold on. The ancient text Game of Thrones.
You just spend 3 chapters describing a feast.
Yeah. That was actually the issue. That they said, thou shalt not spend 3 chapters on one feast.
Thou shalt be concise.
Thou shalt proofread.
Oh my god.
Anywho, so Leviticus 19:31 is do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Leviticus 26 is I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists, and other translations say like witches or
I was gonna say, like,
necromancers.
Oh yeah.
But the one translation that I was using uses mediums and spiritists over and over again. But to prostitute themselves by following them, and I will cut them off from their people. And
what does that mean? I will turn my face to, like, turn away from you?
Well, so interestingly, a lot of the quotes are less about like being a witch is bad, and more like don't listen to those witches. You know, I like it bad to listen to witch.
Sounds like a cult. That's another episode.
Yeah. And then so Leviticus 20:27 is a man who, this is probably the most specific one. A man or woman who is a medium or spiritist among you must be put to death. You are to stone them. Their blood will be on their own heads.
Oh.
So that's probably the strongest one, which is why I chose this little section
Leviticus
of them.
sounds like real fun at a party.
Well, yeah, again, no gay sex, no tattoos. But,
no short hair.
But the Bible doesn't stop there on witchcraft. Like I said, there are actually 15 more, obviously, top passages, and you can absolutely check them out online. But you get the upshot, basically.
I want to get a tattoo of that.
People do. There's like a really famous screenshot of like a guy who got a tattoo of the one that says
like,
you
don't
have gay sex.
Oh. Amazing.
And it's in the same, it's because they're both Leviticus. People were like, dude. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, interestingly, there's a lot of different translations where sometimes they'll say witch, medium, necromancer, all these different things. And it seems like throughout them, it never really specifically defines what that means. It's just like witchcraft bad, you follow witches bad. Which seems very handy. Okay, so getting into the bigger picture. This is all obviously tied up in the whole worshipping false idols thing, which is, of course, ultimately tied up in getting pagans to convert to Christianity and stick with it.
Yeah.
Healers, diviners, practitioners of what is for better or for worse called magic here would have been leaders in existing religions or communities, so vilifying them and making them scary, associating pagan traditions with communing with the devil would, of course, benefit the Christian leaders, conquerors, missionaries, and so on, who were coming into this uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Unwelcome and coming on in. And so, okay, so this is where we move into talking about the historical actions that are now identified as witchcraft, which are essentially pre-Christian rituals and forms of spirituality. And I'm borrowing from Wikipedia here again for a second. They involve varying degrees of magic, shamanism, folk medicine, spiritual healing, calling on elementals and spirits, veneration of ancient deities and archetypes, and attunement with the forces of nature. Wicca, which is the name of the religion, so to speak, or because people don't always love the term religion, but that a lot of modern Western witches identify with, can actually be traced back to a few people in England in the 1920s and 1950s, which I know, again, you're going to talk about a little bit later, but first with a now discredited book from 1921 called The Witch Cult in Western Europe by a woman named Margaret Murray, which was treated as an anthropological book at the time, where she basically theorized that up until the 1600s, there was one pre-Christian religion being practiced, as well as Christianity, of course, all over Western Europe, that worshipped a two-faced horn god who represented the cycle of seasons and harvests. And I actually went down a huge rabbit hole here, so this is so far off topic, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yes. Her theory was actually related to an even earlier theory, also wrong, from a German guy named Professor Karl Ernst Jarke, who posited in 1828 that the early modern witch trials were not just hateful acts of violence against innocent people, which is what they were, but rather that they'd actually found a bunch of secret pagans that were like, so there's been this idea that like this paganism has been passed down. But actually some Wicca scholars credit him, and one of his buddies was sort of paving the way for neo-paganism. I wasn't able to find the exact text of whatever his theory was, so I'm going off of secondhand accounts, but it sounds like he basically thought that there was this ancient pagan religion, or at least some sort of practices that were being passed down matrilineally, and that these witches, although, of course, again, the people in Salem were not actually witches, nor were they practicing pagans. He was totally wrong about this, but by positing this theory that witches were a throwback to, like, matriarchal society, he kind of started that idea running that, like, paganism and this matriarchal thing could be a good idea, you know?
Oh, he was pro.
By, like, I mean, I have no idea what he and his friend's opinion was on it, but his line of thinking when he started being like, well, maybe what happened was they found this ancient paganism or, like, these rituals that were being passed down through the mother. People went, ancient rituals being passed down through the mother? That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, is sort of what people have credited him with, rightly or wrongly.
Okay.
Anyway.
I mean, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, and so, but what their actual opinion was on all of this, I have no idea, because I
should ask them.
Yeah, I'd love to just, like, give them a call.
In our Talking to the Dead episode.
Yeah, we'll get the Ouija board out. But yeah, so everything I could find about this was pretty heavily editorialized, but that's what he thought. Anyhow, so Wicca grows in England, blah, 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 1950s. You're going to talk on that later. Sorry, I got way off on a tangent there, but
no, I love it.
I'm going to bring it back into what's so bad about witches, which is exactly
Can
that.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
What's so bad about witches? Nothing.
Okay, so other than discouraging pagan religions, there's obviously another big factor in the suppression of people believed to be practitioners of witchcraft, who pretty much all happen to be women, which is, of course, the fear and criminalization of female empowerment and the female body.
Yeah.
All right, so allthat'sinteresting.com has a really lovely piece.
Wow, all that's interesting.
I have no idea how well-sourced this was, but I really enjoyed reading it.
Well, they have a great URL.
Yeah, allthat'sinteresting.com. On how, like, women healers and the sort of witch figure went from valued consultant, healer, benevolent wise woman, you know, person that you absolutely had to consult if you were going to war or if you were doing anything. If there was a baby being born, there were always going to be also women present.
Because we're, like, fucking part of that.
Yeah,
we're the ones birthing
half
the babies.
Of the world.
Yeah.
Like,
we give life, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
But so, and somehow that image turned into warty evildoer. And they theorize essentially that as male-centric and monotheistic religions rose, these powerful women that were existing in the pre-Christian societies and societies that were being colonized, that, and I'm editorializing a little here, but sue me. But
don't.
Please don't sue me. I'll say whatever you want. They blamed, what they did was they blamed women for things like the Black Plague. Uh-huh. So as time went on, they started saying this was a bad thing that happened. It was her fault.
Yeah.
They specifically pointed out those women in the community and said, she did it.
It's basically like the ancient equivalent of, like, bitches be crazy.
Right, yeah. And, okay, so you're going to love this. Okay, so how'd they do that? They blamed the plague on the devil and then pushed the idea that women are more susceptible to the devil's ways. Okay, and then people started to be like, oh, maybe these folk healers are good at what they do because they're talking to the devil and not because they're practicing time-honored traditions that were passed down that sometimes kind of work because, like, penicillin and stuff, they're mixing the right things together. Which,
right.
Okay, so, but I'm actually just going to read this section straight from allthat'sinteresting.com for you because I think that they put it very well.
Yeah.
In order to save the church and its followers from the devil, then, these women had to be tamed. It is with that in mind that Catholic Church inquisitors Jacob Springer and Henrik Kramer wrote the Malleus Maleficarum, a book which assisted witch hunters in the gruesome task of diagnosing and punishing so-called witches, who as women were sexually vulnerable and therefore easy prey for the devil. And here's one of the things that those monks wrote. What else is a woman but a foe to friendship? They are evil, lecherous, vain, and lustful. All witchcraft comes from carnal lust, which is, in women, insatiable.
They sound like a 4chan channel.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, and that's,
Gamergate.
these guys are the roots.
Look how things have changed.
Right, yeah.
We've come so far.
Oh, boy. So
God
the
damn it,
manual's
Eric.
vivid, I know. The manual's
Chad.
vivid descriptions would serve as a platform for zealous witch hunters to act on their prejudices for over 200 years. At the time, Malleus Maleficarum became second to the Bible in terms of popularity.
Wait, okay, so I'm sorry. There was an actual profession called witch hunter that would just go around, like, killing women?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, you're going to get into this?
Yeah. Okay, Fontaine, this is still from them. They're talking about Carol Fontaine, who's a biblical scholar that they quote a few times based on an interview that she did with A&E, my favorite channel. Fontaine notes that while there had been witch hunting manuals prior to the publication of the Malleus Maleficarum, these two monks were the first to associate a specific gender with witchcraft. And it blew up. So cool.
I love the title of their book. Like, say that 5 times fast.
I know, right?
You're doing
it really
very
sounds
good
like
with
a
it.
Harry Potter thing.
Yeah. Maleferous Miracle.
Right, yeah. Unfortunately, that does turn you into
a witch.
I was going to say a Redditor.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. I got it.
Potato,
No, I get
potato.
It. Yeah. Oh. Same joke, different punchline. Okay, go on.
All right. And then so from there, witch hunting becomes kind of a huge thing. Not just in the Salem witch trials, which I knew about, but okay, so in the same A&E documentary, which is on YouTube and which maybe we could link to or something.
Yeah.
This lady, Barbara McGraw, who's a religion professor, says that there were towns in Germany where after all of the witch hunts were over in Eastern Europe, or in all of Europe, Western Europe, I guess, there were no women left. Like, there were towns where they killed all the women.
Jesus Christ.
About 60,000 women were ultimately killed in Europe as witches by the beginning of the 18th century.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm 1,000% serious.
I guess this podcast is now explicit. But Jesus Christ, I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's
I didn't know this either.
That's genocide, dude.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it was over 100 years, but still, I mean, or 200 years.
Either
but
way,
still, it's
that's
a
like,
lot. You know, it's a lot of people.
If you want to be gay, just be
the
gay.
Population
You don't need
was
to kill
much
the
smaller
women
back then.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so
insane.
timing-wise, the end of the or the beginning of the 18th century is also just after the Salem witch trials. So the Salem witch trials were just part of a European fad. Really.
Yeah.
They were like
trickle
club
down.
music.
Yeah. Came much later. That's so funny.
Okay, so
Not
and
funny,
then
but...
as a reminder, not that practicing a different religion is a reason to kill someone, but they were also not doing that.
Right.
So the things that could bring you under scrutiny, according to this, included birthmarks, a wayward freckle, and I'm going to go ahead and theorize a smoking hot bod.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk too much about the Salem witch trials because it is the thing that we learn the most about, I feel like, in terms of all of the witchcraft stuff.
Yeah.
Or not witchcraft, but like history of witch stuff.
We do learn about that. I did not learn about Europe though.
Right.
School.
Yeah.
I did
but
not know that
one
that
thing
happened.
I did want to note about the Salem witch trials, just because I feel like it's a talking point that we should touch on at some point, is just that Tituba, the first woman accused in Salem, was a household slave who's believed to have been one of the Kalina people, indigenous people native to the northern coastal areas of South America, because if people don't love throwing a woman under the bus, boy, do they love throwing a woman of color under the bus.
Yeah, for sure.
And people think that maybe she told the girls stories about voodoo just from home, because that would be
that's her
part
culture.
of her culture. Yeah. And of course, she was also not a practicing witch.
No,
but
of course, yeah. I mean, but even if she was, right, it doesn't matter.
Right,
it's
it doesn't matter.
Up. Yeah,
it's like it's fucked up,
still
and
murder.
then it's also fucked up.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to use that as sort of a jumping off point to say that I do feel like, you know, having done all this, obviously focusing on Wicca and Western European ideas of witchcraft means ignoring a lot of other history that's incredibly important to the big picture conversation, which is just sort of to summarize that people colonized and used this stuff to subjugate all different kinds of cultures, women, people of color, people in every continent, basically, were in the name of spreading Christianity.
Yeah, so it sounds like all propaganda. It was all just like, we don't like these women. Tiffany wouldn't sleep with me, so let's call her a witch and tell everyone it's bad and let's kill her.
Yeah, so basically the root of this whole witches are bad thing comes from realizing that women had power and that was bad for the church.
Yeah. This sounds super familiar to everything that's happening.
And then realizing that
politics.
Going into new cultures, a way to take over was to take out whoever was in charge, and that was often whoever was running these things.
Ugh. God damn.
Yeah. And is there anything else I want to say from here?
It's so depressing. It makes me so angry.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so just like colonized and enslaved peoples were forced to convert to Christianity. Basically, there are a lot of different things that have been pushed under the category of witchcraft because of that. Just like Wikipedia told us in the first place, practices and belief systems that have been demonized in the name of subjugating not just women, but people of color in order to give the white man more money and more power, just like everything else.
Yeah, goddamn that white man. It's always him. Eric. I don't know.
Who's Eric?
I just named
Is that your, like,
this is my first boyfriend.
straw white man?
Actually, my first boyfriend was Eric, but he was Korean. He wasn't even white.
Eric.
No, I just like it's the name that just popped into my head. It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's not okay. My current boyfriend is a white man, and your husband is a white man, and we love individual white men.
There are lots of good white men.
As a concept, as like a figurehead, as the powers that be.
Yeah. It's just that
your popularity is going down,
historically done.
Yeah, shitty
bad
things.
stuff.
Yeah. We don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
We don't have to put a disclaimer. People know how it is.
Yeah, they get it. They know. They've seen the world.
Read the news.
Yeah. Which brings us to your turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whew, okay. But also, damn the white man. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started off around where Emily left off with Wicca, and I was not as Did you watch that documentary?
No, I didn't watch all of it, but I started, and then I was like, I could go down this rabbit hole. It's from like 1996, so it's entirely possible. It's all not true now, but it was so good.
How fun to watch a documentary from 96.
I know. It's all on YouTube, like I said. And A&E 45-minute.
We'll link to it in the
I guess it's not really, it's probably like an episode of something.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch that.
We'll watch it after this.
So yeah, I mostly just did some minor Googling and copy pasting. So I use Wikipedia a lot too. So I started looking into modern witchcraft, all the different types and sects and practices, but that kind of directed me right back to Wicca, because a lot of them are kind of originally derived from and then have broken off from, or and because we focus on the Western world, like that's really kind of the top of the umbrella. I don't know. What's the little thing on top of the umbrella?
We'll call it an umbrella.
The nubby.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
It's the root of the tree.
Yeah.
It's the trunk of the tree.
The trunk.
And then
the branches are the.
And then the roots are all the things that went into making Wicca, and then the branches are all the things that come.
It's beautiful because it's nature. It's a tree, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you are a true poet.
Thanks.
Anyway, so let's start with Wicca. Let's dive a little bit more into what that is. So it's a contemporary pagan new religious movement. It's recognized by scholars as a religion, but I'll talk about that briefly later. How other witches feel about that. But it was developed in England in the first half of the 20th century and introduced to the public. I guess it kind of like all the kind of hell and brimstone speak maybe died down a tiny bit enough. So by like 1954, Gerald Gardner, which Emily told me his first name today.
Yeah, I had Gerald something written in my notes.
And I just had Gardner.
Gardner something.
And this is why we're a perfect pair. We're just like meant to be partners.
Yeah.
Because we form a full name.
You write down Gardner.
He was a retired British civil servant, and he and Doreen Valenti, they published these traditional core beliefs, principles, and practices in these books, as well as secret written and oral teachings that were passed down through their like initiates, their like people. But it draws upon like a diverse set of ancient pagan and 20th century motifs, hermetic motifs, in terms of structure and practices. So because it's decentralized, it's not that strict, like in terms of religions as it goes, like, and this is, I think, something that drew me to it, and I don't know, right. I'm assuming probably you as well, but something I really loved, because I was raised Catholic growing up, and like something that's really great is that Wicca's not that strict. Like the different sects and practices have different rules about like titles, and I'll talk about that a little bit, but like there's a lot of disagreement. I'm sure you came up with this in your research too with witchcraft. Like there's not really a hard and fast rule about this is what this is and this is how it is.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like we have an ancient text
no.
from like any
God.
from any one like version of this religion that
From
existed before the 1950s. Basically.
It's not like a bunch of white dudes sat down and were like, this is how it is.
Right.
Some white dudes and some white women and some, but anyway, no.
Yeah.
It's all derived from many different things.
Yeah. It's, it's funny. I was thinking about this in this context a lot, but like the idea of what religion you respect and what you don't is so related to like who's successful in your moment, basically. And because religions are all crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like race. It's like fluid. It's just a human man-made kind of construct that we create,
right?
And changes and fluctuates and adapts over time for whatever best serves the people at that time.
Right. I mean, like Catholicism involves like burning a lot of like candles, incense, all that shit,
and all that's derived from a lot of early pagan beliefs.
Because they were basically going, okay, you like that. This is familiar. You do this now. And that's why like Christmas is when it is. I mean, you probably know this, but Christmas is when it is because of pagan holidays that were already at that time, like pagan festivals of light and stuff. And they were just like, because they don't think Jesus was born in December.
They say he was born in July. He's like a Cancer.
Yeah,
of course
probably.
He's like a fucking Cancer. I'm just kidding. Love Cancers. Okay. So exactly. So some traditions, like there's like a big branch of the tree, British traditional Wicca. They follow kind of this really strict initiatory lineage of Gardner, and consider that the term Wicca applies only to similar traditions, but not to newer eclectic traditions. Basically, point being, there's so many different kinds, and it's whatever you want to believe. But typically, it's duotheistic. Wiccans worship both a goddess and a god, right? The goddess Moon, the horned god representing the sun, and broader beliefs range from polytheism to pantheism or monism, or even goddess monotheism. It's, again, point being...
Yeah, I definitely read a book in junior high that was goddess monotheistic.
Yeah, point being, like, this thing has a lot of branches.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Wiccan celebrations, both... they typically celebrate the cycles of the moon, which are known as Espats, commonly associated with the female goddess deity. And they also celebrate cycles of the sun. Again, a big part of all of this with paganism and shamanism and Wicca and all of this, the whole tree, it's all about nature. Like really at its core, and I'll talk about this in a second, but like it's about celebrating, respecting, and honoring nature and everything that's around us and what nourishes us and feeds us and shelters us and all that. So naturally, we Wiccans like celebrate the cycles of the sun and moon. And they have seasonally based festivals known as Sabbats. Sabbats? I don't know. It's... and also I
feel like it's got to be Sabbath. Everybody else is Sabbath, right?
But it doesn't have an H on it. It's Sabbats. Oh. Anyway, it's like basically the first day of fall, first day of spring, first day of winter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they also have the Wiccan Rede, which a lot of people I think have heard of. It's a popular expression about the morality, do what you will, but like harm none, that kind of thing. It's not universally accepted though. That's not. I know some witch friends who don't follow that. They're like, fuck that shit. I'll do what I want. Like,
right.
So, but. Also, another big thing to know is that, like, I didn't know this, but, like, Wicca often involves practice of magic, like rituals with magic, but not necessarily. Like, it's not necessary. You can be Wiccan and not practice any magic at all. Wicca is known as the largest, best known, most influential, most extensively studied form of paganism. Several academics categorize it as a form of nature religion, like I said, which is also embraced by a lot of the people who practice it, because that is the kind of the root of the core of the tree.
Right.
I'm losing this tree.
The core and the apple of the tree.
Metaphor. Yeah. And a hole in the ground. Okay. They also, a lot of scholars refer to it as a magico religion, which I loved that. That was fun. That's a fun word. Magico. So even though it is recognized as a religion, a lot of practitioners actually kind of eschew themselves from that term. A lot of practitioners like to favor the term spirituality over or way of life
Yeah,
versus religion, because religion constitutes to, I think, a lot of people like a very organized kind of militant.
People think of organized religion and like after a certain point institutions exist to perpetuate themselves, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what a lot of religion does, basically.
I think the world would be a lot better place if we all just like kind of, you know, chilled out and just kind of looked out for ourselves and just like made sure that our family could eat and like, you know, just like let each other live, you know, not stop trying to spread our own shit on other people, you know. No, just let people do whatever they want. They're not hurting you, who cares? Anyway, so when it first came into public attention, it was commonly called witchcraft. Gerald Gardner, our old friend Gerald, what's a nickname for Gerald?
Jerry.
Okay, so Jerry.
Gerald.
He was regarded as the father of Wicca.
Gigi.
G squared. The craft of the wise, witchcraft, witch cult during the 1950s. But what's really cool and interesting is that there's no evidence that he ever called it Wicca. He did refer to a collective community of pagan witches as the Wicca with one C, but he never used that term Wicca with two C's that we know. That was developed in Britain during the 1960s, and it's not really known who invented that word. One theory is that it could be Gardner's rival, which I love this idea of like these old, I picture these like hippie dudes just who are like really into the spirituality, but they're like, it's like Eagleton Ron and Pawnee Ron from Parks and Rec. But anyway, Charles Cardinal, C squared, he was who referred to it as the craft of the Wiccans in 1958. So some people think he was actually the one who. Oh, you know what's a better metaphor? Because not everyone's as obsessed with Parks and Rec as I am. It's like Marlowe and Shakespeare. That's how I picture it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway,
well, then where did the word witch come from?
So, the modern English term Wicca, that was a perfect segue, Emily, is derived from the Old English Wicca and witchy, W-I-C-C-E. I don't know how to read that when they like phonetically spell out things.
Depends. Anyway. Sometimes I can read them.
So it's the masculine and feminine term for witch, which which was used in Anglo-Saxon England. So I did not realize that Wicca is like a feminine term.
Oh.
So it's like Wicca and Wiki. I don't know. I'm mispronouncing it. Yeah, I know. Okay, so
Neither of us can do that air horn noise.
Nope. Adopting it, though, for modern usage, Wiccans are both symbolically cementing their connection to the ancient pre-Christian past and adopting a self-designation that's less controversial than the word witchcraft. So early sources refer to it as an entirety of the religion rather than specific traditions. Again, long story short, yada, yada, yada. Like, basically, it's the term Wicca is used in a lot of different ways, but Wicca and witchcraft are not necessarily synonymous. They can be used and have been used in a synonymous way. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Charmed, they used the word Wicca to refer to just witchcraft, but what they were actually showing on screen was, of course, not super accurate and also not Wicca.
What?
I know. And
are you telling me Buffy the Vampire Slayer is not a documentary?
Two other names used for the religion are witchcraft and the craft. It can be confusing because people confuse it with other non-religious forms of witchcraft, because there are forms of witchcraft that are not under the Wiccan tree and they're not seen as religion, such as Satanism or Luciferianism. I don't know, I'm not pronouncing that right. The practitioners also describe themselves as witches as well, but again, not the same thing. So point being, long story short, that there's just a lot of different definitions, there's a lot of different ways the words are used, there's a lot of different practices, which I think is really cool. So then I also found these articles, Modern Witchcraft Traditions, on thoughtco.com. So Patty Whittington wrote kind of a really great like listicle of a bunch of different popular modern witchcraft traditions. Again, some of these identify as traditions within the Wiccan framework, some of them are outside of it. So one of them is Alexandrian Wicca. It's formed by Alexanders and his wife Maxine. It's very similar to the Gardner. I cannot speak. Yeah, but it's Gardnerian.
Oh,
Everyone puts an IAN on everything, and then it's anyway.
Just like Armenians. That's
where was I? Alexandrian Wicca. He claimed to be initiated into witchcraft in the early 1930s. apparently, though, was also a member of a Gardnerian coven before he broke off and started his own tradition in the 60s. So it's a blend of ceremonial magic with heavy Gardner, I'm just going to say Gardner, influences with a dose of Hermetic Kabbalah mixed in. Ooh. It's like, hi, Madonna. Okay, so then it's important to keep in mind, though, that not everyone practices this the same way. All of this stuff comes with disclaimers that this is not hard and fast. So, influences from Gardner. Alexandrian covens initiate members into a degree system, just like the Gardner tradition. So this I didn't know. I feel like I kind of knew, but basically both Alexandrian and Gardnerian, I'm not saying that right, traditions, you have to like kind of work your way up through the levels, and you have to be initiated into the coven, and then you have to earn each title as you move up. So you're not just anyone's allowed to say that they're like, oh, I'm a Gardner Wicca. No, that's not how that works, according to them. According to Ronald Hutton in his book Triumph of the Moon, many of the differences between Gardner Wicca and Alexandrian Wicca have been blurred over the last few decades. But this is really cool. So, contrary to popular belief, Sanders, who created Alexandrian Wicca, never made his tradition's Book of Shadows public. There's no public record of this Book of Shadows out there, at least not in its entirety. So there's collections of that information in print and online. You could probably find out. Maybe there's some on the dark web. I don't know. But not the full tradition, and it's generally designed as training materials for new initiates. The only way to access the complete Book of Shadows, which for those of you who don't know, that's basically just like kind of a collection of information. It doesn't even necessarily have to be all spells. It's just kind of a manual.
Yeah, because modern witches are totally leaning into the image.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's called the Book of Shadows.
It's the Book of Shadows.
What's your book called?
The only way to access it, though, is if you are initiated into a coven. If you're, like, registered.
You gotta register.
Yeah, you gotta register.
You gotta register at the front desk.
You gotta sign up for those reward points. Okay, so there's British traditional. I'm gonna wrap this up a bit. Okay, so there's British traditional Wicca, which is kind of an all-purpose category that describes some of the New Forest traditions. So Gardner and Alexandrian are best known, but there's smaller subgroups as well. And also, they're underneath this British traditional Wicca blanket. So that we use that word BTW more in the U.S. than in England, I guess. Kind of like how like people call chicken wings buffalo wings outside of Buffalo, I would think. Anyway,
do you call buffalo wings chicken wings?
Yeah, I just call them wings. I don't say buffalo wings.
Well, how do you tell people what flavor they are?
Because in Buffalo, the wings are already buffalo.
They're already
flavor.
buffalo. They're always buffalo.
We have the sauce in varying degrees of heat.
Okay.
And you get either wings that are they're gonna be with the buffalo hot wing sauce that we like created and are known for, or you can order barbecue, or you can order plain. But that's it.
Okay, but you would have to specify plain.
Yes. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to talk about this anymore because I'm not going to talk about BTW anymore because it's kind of boring. Same thing. You have to be invited. You have to be initiated. There's training, yada yada. Sounds like a lot of work. Although this is a cool quote. So Joseph Carricker, which is like when I was researching this, I was like, this is a lot of dudes. When did we get to the women? Hold tight. So he was an Alexandrian priest, and he pointed out in an article that we do not mandate belief, we mandate practice. In other words, we do not care what you believe. You may be agnostic, polytheistic, monotheistic, pantheistic, animistic, any other variety of classification of human belief. We only care that you learn and pass on the rites as they were taught to you, which I think is really freaking cool for
That's
a religion.
Really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go into others. Eclectic witchcraft. That's an all-purpose term, which I didn't realize. I thought that was a little more specific, but it is kind of a blanketed term again. Often neo-Wiccan that applies to many different witchcraft traditions that don't fit into really any specific definitive category.
Right, like so being featured in a Vogue video about witches.
Makes you an eclectic witch. Is this a specific reference to something?
Yeah, it is. Sorry. There's like I feel like I sent you this maybe at the time, but there was like a Vogue series that was just like, I am witch. And then it was just like a woman running on a cliff.
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with
that made me so angry. I forgot about that. I blocked. Oh, fuck that shit.
I think about it all the time.
No, that makes me so angry.
Anyway,
so a lot of solitary. So, that's something we can talk about a little bit. So, like, there are two different kind of ways to practice, right? There's within a coven, within a group. You're part of a club. Mm-hmm. You practice together. You do rites and rituals together. And then there's solitary practice, where you're just kind of do it on your own. And I think that's also what's really picking up now in modern times with modern young women. in the Western world of like solitary practice.
Yeah.
Because it's easier and you don't have to like try and find a coven. Okay, so coven or individual can use the term eclectic for any reason, a variety of reasons. There's also Corallinian nativist tradition, which traces its lineage to Orpheus Caroline High Coral. Goodness.
I'm sorry, what were those words?
Corallinian nativist tradition of Wicca traces its lineage to Orpheus Caroline High Coral. That's a woman's name.
Okay.
So it's based on the teaching.
Great name.
Yeah, I know. It's based on, according to the group's website, they have a website.
Ooh.
They base their teachings on members of the High Coral family who were descended from a line of Cherokee Didenviswigi. Who intermarried with a line.
Checks out.
Who, I'm so sorry, everyone, who intermarried with a line of Scottish traditional witches.
Ooh.
So it's like a blend of Cherokee and Scottish traditional like witchcraft and beliefs. And their descendants were further influenced by Arabian witchcraft and by the Spiritualist Church. So by the 1980s, then they opened up their tradition to the public. So basically it's like this family that like just was derived from a bunch of different practices. And I'm sure they just like grew and grew and grew. And then they were like, cool, let's also like accept anyone outside of our family. And if they want to be part of it.
Rocks.
Some people think that they're like, is this really Wicca or is this just like a weird family cult thing? Who knows? You know, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's big enough that it was mentioned in this
hairy
article.
when you're like, it's stuff I learned from my family. My family knows everything.
Yeah, exactly. Join us. There's also, this is really cool, the Covenant of the Goddess, or COG. It's a Wiccan tradition formed in the mid-1970s as a response to the rise of public interest in witchcraft, which you could also probably theorize that was right alongside the same thing as the feminist movement happening. Yeah, right? So in as well as...
Well, and also Bewitched was on the air, so
yeah,
who could resist?
I mean, who doesn't want to wrinkle their nose? She was adorable. Along with the increasing awareness of feminist spirituality. So it began as a collection of elders from a variety of Wiccan and witchcraft traditions who got together with the idea of creating a central religious organization for people of varied backgrounds. It's not a true tradition in and of itself, but several of the group members' traditions all operate under the umbrella of set of bylaws and guidelines. They hold annual conferences, they work to educate the public, they hold rituals, and work on community outreach projects, which sounds just like a awesome, badass group of people.
Yeah, they sound like they're pretty rock and roll.
Yeah. I bet you they're a nonprofit too.
Ooh.
I don't know.
You think they got that 501c3,
they got that
baby?
Yeah, man, they file those forms. They've often spoken out too to help correct public misconceptions about Wicca and modern witchcraft. They also offer scholarships and educational opportunities to qualified individuals, and they will help with legal aid in religious discrimination cases. Ooh. So they must be a nonprofit. They just sound like a real. They basically sound like
so
the
nice.
Witch ACLU.
Are they hiring?
I know. We should join them. Apparently, they also have like this code of ethics on their website that you have to follow in order to obtain membership. But again, it's like do no harm. And this is the official wording, right? Oh. And ye harm none, do as ye will. All persons have the right to charge reasonable fees for the services by which they earn a living, so long as our religion is not thereby exploited, which I think is really important, right?
Yeah.
Which I love that. It's like, go ahead, make money, just don't fucking exploit us.
Right.
And your religion. They have to respect the traditional secrecy of our religion. Keep in mind the underlying unity of our religion as well as the diversity of its manifestations. Mm-hmm. And COG is one of the largest multi-traditional groups in modern Wicca and maintains strict autonomy for member covens. Although they are incorporated... Oh, they are! I didn't read the rest of my research, obviously. Although they are incorporated as a nonprofit religious group in the state of California, the COG has chapters all over the world. So they sound super cool and we should go visit them.
Yeah, let's see if they want to come hang out on our podcast.
Yeah, seriously. So there's a couple other articles. I'm just going to do a quick list. I'm not going to go into them, but because there's so much. There's this article, Classifying Witchcrafts, which is an excerpt from Bonewit's Essential Guide to Witchcraft and Wicca by Isaac Bonewitz, which is an amazing name. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was given to him. I think he took it. But
damn it.
Either way, I mean, that's just purely my thought of like, who gets named Bonewitz?
I don't know.
Anyway, okay. So anthropologic witchcraft, Christian witchcraft. You can find this online, by the way, and he kind of does a brief explanation of each of these, and it's too long for me to go into. Classic witchcraft, aka cunning craft, criminal witchcraft, diabolic witchcraft, Dianic, eclectic, ethnic, family tradition.
Ethnic. Sorry. I'm sure it means something, but
yeah, I mean, to be fair, this book came out in 1971.
Oh, so it doesn't mean anything. All right, cool. I mean, it means something, but it means
non-white
might mean
people,
a lot
basically.
of stuff.
Yeah. No, what does he say? The practice of various non-English speaking people who use magic, religion, and alternative healing methods.
Woof.
Yep. family tradition or famtrad. Fairy.
Famtrad.
I know. 70s.
I'm sorry.
Fairies tradition, which that still exists. That's still going. Feminist, Garderian. We talked about goth, grandmotherly. Immigrant tradition or imtrad. Okay, so maybe I should not have quoted this article, but some of these are still like legit. Neoclassic, neo-diabolic, neo-pagan, neo-shamanic, traditional, witchcraft with a small W.
No, so they got Ariana Grande's new album early.
And Witta, Witta. That's an imaginary form of paleo and meso-pagan witchcraft supposedly practiced in ancient medieval Ireland, yet called by a Germanic term. Okay, maybe it's not real.
Is this Wicca? And just spelled differently?
Just spelled differently, probably.
Yeah.
All right, listen, let's not go too... Anyway, other things. Another article, real quick. How Witchcraft Works by Lee Ann Obringer. This is from howstuffworks.com, which honestly has some really great info in.
Yeah, listen, I used allthat'sinteresting.com.
Yeah, so there's...
Among other things.
She talks, though, a little bit about African witchcraft, Appalachian folk magic, green witchcraft, hedge witchcraft, hereditary, kitchen or cottage witchcraft, Pennsylvania Dutch witchcraft, or powwow.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to hear about all of these.
Yeah.
But I'll read about it.
Yeah, it's a lot. Traditional Wicca. So, like, there's a lot. There's so many. There's so much out there. I encourage you to do more research if you're interested, and also because there's just not enough time.
Yeah, and just find the one that feels right for you. I
Right.
guess.
And if you have specific requests of ones you want to learn more about, then we can do that in a later
we'll
episode.
do a deeper dive and see if we can find some people that actually know about specific sects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun, actually. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Our email's witchcastpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Our email is witchcastpodcast@gmail.com.
I said it looking at Emily like, is that correct? Yes, that's correct.
I believe it is correct.
We'll make a disclaimer if it's not. So anyway, that's the long and short of the modern stuff and that was just really the top line of.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the big picture takeaway there is just that Wicca is something that sort of brought witchcraft back into the like mainstream Western eye, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that there are a whole lot of different ways that you can celebrate the earth and your belief system and whatever your spirituality and whatever you want to with all this.
It's so popular and it's so varied and and so many different people from different backgrounds practice it in all different ways.
Yeah.
So
what's cool is that's exactly like witchcraft is totally cool with that, and also it's just such a broad term that it's like it just covers a host of fun.
I think it's so great that something that it's kind of come full circle if you think about it, because. That's something that started as this very early mankind of belief system that was just kind of these cavemen and women early people just kind of worshiping the earth, paying respect to things they didn't maybe quite understand or the way that they thought they understood it. Early paganism and shamanism, and then then evolved with the development of organized religion into something to be demonized and used as propaganda. That's now come full circle into again being something kind of fast and loose and whatever you want to believe, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes sense to you, and there's lots of different ways you can do it.
Yeah, and I feel like that brings us to sort of our final question for today, which is sort of why witches, why now, or how witchcraft relates to this current moment,
Mm-hmm. And it's very popular. It's really there's a bunch of articles about it.
Exploded. It's so big right now. It's not like there were they had Bewitched and stuff in the 50s, 60s, whenever that aired, and we've had Charmed and The Craft and all this stuff. Obviously, there's a fascination with this idea, but it's become much more specific to this idea of actually the practices versus just the concept of witch.
And also, I think it's also evolved from being something that was just kind of used as entertainment, lumped into ghosts, vampires, and genies, and being of more no, this is actually a practice. This is a spirituality. This is a belief system that is valid and that people follow, and it's empowering, just yoga.
Right, yeah. And it also, I will say, though, I feel more so than anything else, I think it's about people who have been traditionally subjugated coming into more power and looking for places for community and places for a sense of spirituality that aren't like institutions that have traditionally oppressed them. Use their power to oppress them. And this is something that was actually used against a lot of those communities.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense that it would be something when you're looking around that you might gravitate towards to be like, you know, like, let's flip this around and let's have this be part of our power and what we can do. And I mean, I don't know how long term this will be in terms of that boom, but like,
I hope long term.
Yeah.
I think it's a reclaiming. I think it's with this new wave of feminism. And I think also we should say, like, I think feminism, and I was talking about this with a friend the other day, I think this newer wave of feminism that's happening is trying to be very intersectional as much as possible, right? Like, I mean, there's still a lot of issues within that movement, of course, when it comes to race and class and all of that, because those issues come hand in hand with gender, like, regardless. And also one could totally argue that there have been women of color and people of color practicing what some might call witchcraft forever and always have, and just kind of under the radar. But now that, you know, it's a little, you know, you can buy like crystals at H&M, it's popular. Right. But I think that it's like with this feminist movement of women body positivity, it's about, you know, the LGBTQIA movement and you know, and civil rights and Black Lives Matters and all this kind of focus on, hey, no, wait a minute, like, we're all human, our voices matter, and we should be able to love ourselves. And I think the self-love era that we're in right now totally ties in with that. Yeah. Because what is witchcraft if not loving yourself and loving others, loving the earth, respecting, you know, the body that you're in, respecting the earth that you're in, and passing that off, as, you know, to other people around you. Yeah. Because it was something that oppressed women for so long, I think it makes perfect sense that and something that was derived from a matriarchal kind of, you know, tradition. It makes sense that women would want to be like, you know what, like, let me be a witch.
Yeah. Fuck the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like, I could be in charge if I want to be.
Exactly. I'm in charge of my own body. I'm in charge of my own will. I mean, isn't that what it's about? It's about, like, harnessing your own will. It's about being in tune with yourself and using your own energy to kind of manifest things in your life. And however that is for you, whatever kind of practice you do, I think at its core, it's about harnessing your own power. It's a very empowering, you know, practice, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And why not? Like, let's do it. Hex yeah.
Hex yeah.
Hex yeah. So now we're going to go into Are we good to go into our next section?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I have a crystal stone deck, and I have this really beautiful deck of Goddess Tarot cards, the Universal Goddess Tarot. And we'll draw a card and then talk about what it means. And so we can learn and you can learn and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll also, you know, I'll post the picture of the card we draw with the podcast as well, so you can see, because the artwork is beautiful. It's graphics by Pietro Aligo and instructions by Maria Caretti. I am doing such a bad job with pronouncing names.
You're doing great, and everybody loves you.
Artwork by Antonella Platano.
You're smart and beautiful.
They're great. Oh, thank you. So are you. Okay, so Emily is going to shuffle.
Oh, no, you're going to see how bad I am at shuffling.
No,
Don't
it's okay.
Describe this pretend that I'm doing a really
great job. It's not a Vegas card table.
No, I know.
Usually what I like to do with my tarot cards is spread them all out on a table so I can, like, feel them with my hands.
Oh, that's nice.
And then,
I'm so bad at shuffling.
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you. I'm trying to send it my good energy.
Yes. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to draw a card?
Sure. Just any card?
Yeah. Whatever it calls to you. We're just going to learn about one card today. Ooh, that's one of my favorite cards. Okay, so what did you just draw? Tell the readers, listeners. What
I just drew the 6 of Swords spade.
No.
No?
No spade. What?
It says spade. Oh, I see. That's a translation. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. 6 of Swords.
That's one of my favorite cards. I'm going to post a picture of this. And you guys can take a look because it's gorgeous. What?
I got confused by the word spade because it's a card
word. I
know. Well, it means something.
It's in all different languages.
Yeah, now I see.
Espies.
Yeah, I realized when I saw epes, which I knew is
I'm
French
mispronouncing all of this. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cards, actually. I actually wanted to get a tattoo of that drawing.
Oh.
Okay, so you want to hear what it's about?
I would love to hear what it's about.
Okay, Six of Swords. Upright means transition, change, rite of passage, releasing baggage. If you do reverse card readings, that means personal transition, resistance to change, or unfinished business. So the Six of Swords, and this is based off of the traditional Rider-Waite deck that I'm reading. This is from, by the way, biddytarot.com, which is one of my favorite sites. The description of the card is based off of the kind of general Rider-Waite deck. So the Six of Swords shows a woman and a young child being rowed across a body of water towards a nearby land. Her head is covered, suggesting sadness or loss as she moves away from something in her past. Her child nestles in close to her body, looking for safety and comfort as they make this journey together. In the boat stand 6 swords, suggesting that the woman and child are still carrying memories or baggage from their past into their future. While the water on the right of the boat is turbulent, the sea ahead is tranquil. This imagery suggests that they are leaving behind a tumultuous situation, bound for a more peaceful and supportive environment. So, there's a lot more that goes into it, but little fact, my friend Rowan, who is also a witch, has told me that this is sometimes known as the card for adoption and adoptees, because it is about letting go. It's about sacrifice. It's a very bittersweet card because you're leaving behind something, but you're also going towards something not necessarily better, but necessary. It's about closing a chapter of your life and some loss and abandonment, but to move forward to where you need to be. So I really love this card. I think it's a really beautiful card.
Oh, I'm so glad we got it.
Yeah, that's so great. So it's it tells you to let go of whatever's holding you back, let go of the baggage, she's looking forward towards what's ahead of her. Don't focus on the past, let go. So if you do, subscribe to reverse drawings, if it is reversed, that means you're probably having a hard time letting go of something and moving forward. Change is really uncomfortable.
I want to go. Anyway, I love this card. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love that in this illustration, her child is a dog.
Yes. Isn't that great?
I'm a dog.
I know. I'm a dog. Emily Duncan. That's also going on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love
a lot of merch.
A lot of merch.
More merch than episodes.
Should we just open...
Put that on a merch. Put that on a tote bag.
More merch than episodes. Witchcast podcast.
Yeah, that'd be Big Little Lies also, probably.
Yeah, maybe we should just open a shop. Maybe we don't even do a podcast.
Yeah, maybe we don't need a podcast. We just need an Etsy. Shopify.
Is this our big chapter that we're embarking?
Yeah, maybe we need to let go of the
let go of the idea of doing a podcast and just embrace making tote bags and
going
t-shirts.
Forward into our future of making tote bags and t-shirts.
Yeah, with just funny sayings that no one else gets.
Yeah, because we never made the podcast.
Oh my God. Okay. I think that about wraps it up. I think that's enough. Right. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you want to find us online.
Yeah, so our website is witchcastpodcast.com. You can email us at witchcastpodcast@gmail.com. Please be nice. Don't spam us. And don't call us mean names. That would be nice. Anyway, I'm just feeling very sensitive right now.
Yeah.
And also we're on Instagram, which we'll post the tarot that we pulled today and some of the things that we talked about at Witchcast Podcast. Yeah. And
that's Witchcast.
So
Hex
yeah.
'Cause it's Witchcast.
Did you see that
Sabrina
video
the Teenage Witch from the 90s.
Of the aunts from the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch watching the new one and being like, oh no.
No, I want to see that.
It's so
and Hilda
cute.
and
They're
Zelda.
just like, oh my gosh, that's not what our Sabrina's
This is not
like.
the WE series we were on. Or WB, wasn't it?
WB. Well, I think it was first it was on
ABC?
ABC or one of those, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that TGIF or something.
TGIF, The Perfect Block.